Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. And how are you doing today? I'm a gummy bear fiend. Like, there are certain candies I can eat constantly. There used to be a Skittles. Pulled it up to see if I could show you. Okay. Do you remember these? I think these are the ones, right? I could eat like the share bag, the biggest bag they made of those things. I could go to a rodeo and I could eat it, just the whole thing. I was so disappointed when they discontinued it because people were complaining about it, but they were so good. Like, seriously so good. And now Skittles are supposedly banned in some states. But gummy bears are my signature favorite of all time. The Haribo. However, the snakes, the twin snakes, where one is sour and one is regular, those are like my absolute favorite. And I got a humongous, is it 2 or 3 pound bag for Christmas? From my son and his girlfriend. Yes, and but then I decided after Christmas to give up candy. Like, I got so much candy for Christmas, and like a whole bag of the Lindt chocolate balls, you know, those are great. Actually, the dark chocolate are my favorite. But yeah, but I decided to give up candy because I was eating so much candy and it just felt awful, actually. So I gave up candy to spur the moment and then realized, do you know how hard it is to walk into your bedroom and see this humongous bag of twin snakes? They're called twin snakes, but they're gummies sitting there just taunting you. It's horrible. They're horrible. But it's a good lesson, I think, you know, because yeah, I would eat candy constantly. My dad ate candy constantly. He said they used to have the big candy bars in a drawer in the kitchen, just the big ones, and if they wanted one, they could go take one. Which is where I got my sugar tooth from, is probably my grandma, because my mom wasn't a big cook with sugar, and my grandma was a big cook with sugar, and she always had a candy dish, so you went down there and you got a candy, and yeah. So we'll see how long this goes till I feel like I can go back to eating candy again. I'm not sure if I'm going to cut out sugar totally, though. We're starting with the candy first. The bad addictions, right? That are so bad for you. Are you doing anything? Like, anything wild for New Year's? That wasn't my New Year's. You know, I don't do resolutions. I just, boom, decide I'm going to do something and throw it in the mix of everything and see what happens. It's fun. You know, and really it's all about willpower and determination, and you know, and sometimes it's really hard, but I think it's good for us, you know, to do those hard things. Anyway, today we are doing bath bombs. Why? Because I needed some, and I needed to change the scents on the website, and I've been having so much fun with them. I thought I would show you a little preview, a little video of bath bomb making and how I decorate them. So 3 things: be kind, be forgiving, be you. And let's go check out these new, actually the spring line of bath bombs. Now, compared to some people, my bath bombs are very basic, but the one thing I do like to add is dendritic salt. And why? Is because it's actually kind of a preservative for bath bombs. I know that sounds really weird, but that's really what it is. So there's always at least 5%, and actually in my bath salts too, but 5% is a good amount to add to them. And I also put the fragrance oil in the dendritic salt because it actually helps hold the scent. So it's a great product. Helps hold the scent, you know, keep it preserved. I don't know. But so that is the first thing I start with. And I actually do weigh out all my stuff. I know there's people that are like 1 cup of this, 2 cups of this, half a cup of this, and I'm just like, that is so cool. But I'm so detail orientated that I have to weigh my stuff out. I have to know my costs, when stuff really changes in price, and stuff goes up, and everything's been going up, let me tell you. But, so, an easy way to do it is take your basic recipe, your 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cups, whatever, and just weigh it out as you're doing it. And you'll get a kind of an estimate of where you kind of need to be. Because like if I need 400 grams of baking soda and I put 402 in or 403, it ain't gonna matter. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Now I use where am I at? Oh, so there's Epsom salt in here, and there's arrowroot powder. I don't use cornstarch in my bath bombs. I think there's a video out there why I don't use cornstarch. I use arrowroot powder, and then I use low oleic sunflower oil or castor oil. I like both. Why low oleic? Well, because high oleic can actually cause breakouts. So if you're using a high oleic oil, the comedogenic rating goes up to 2, not bad, in the sunflower oil. So, and then distilled water. And this one, for my new fun thing, is orange peel powder. I like to put powders in. Pumpkin powder was in the pumpkin spice bath bombs. These have orange peel powder in them. Sometimes I add clays for color and all this fun stuff. I was going to use my French green clay in one of these, and I totally spaced it. But that's okay, because guess what? I can add it when I want to. It's the luxury of being the business owner. And, it's just more website work for me. But anyways, so here we go. I know you've probably seen 8,000 people make their bath bombs. Yeah, to me, it's a boring video. But I'm trying to be really informative. So, and the citric acid went in here and some mica. No, there's no mica in this one. Sorry. But I do weigh my bath bombs because I want them to be approximately the same thing. And every once in a while, I will go a little haywire and it's not quite right. And then I just redo it. So if these bath bombs turned out at exactly 8 ounces, I would actually redo them just because, it's going to, the water is going to evaporate and, and then they won't be 8 ounces. And I think on my labels, they're considered 7.8 ounces or more, just because every once in a while I do make one that's, 8 ounces, and then it turns out that it needs to be, the 7.8. But yeah, I love my molds. It's nice. My silicone mat that's underneath, I can actually, see, this is one that didn't weigh enough. I can actually beat them on there, and I'm not damaging them. I think they're aluminum. Is that what they are? I'm not damaging the bath bomb mold. See? Yeah, I'm trying to get it out. Come on. So then you just hit it on the table a couple times, and then, voila. And then I weigh it. Of course, I tear out that little metal thing and go from there. And I always have a little extra, and that usually turns into baby bath bombs that my grandkids tend to steal before I can ship them with orders. I don't know what somebody would do if you get this itty bitty baby bath bomb, in your order. It's kind of funny. I think they weigh, I don't know if they're 1.5 ounces or what. But next we're going to drizzle, which is the fun part. It's basically decorating. So it's cocoa butter, it's mica, and it's a little bit of baking soda. Now, depending on the heat, so here's one tip. Depending on how hot it is, the cooler it is, the thicker it will stick on the bath bomb. The higher temp it is, the more it will actually absorb into the bath bomb. But it won't cause any fizzing because there's no water, right? And I love doing this. I love doing the coconut butter drizzle on the adult bath bombs because it is just extra luxury added to the bath bomb. Now, this one is a little hotter. And then, of course, depending on how much baking soda you add, right, that's going to determine how thick it is also. So this one is much hotter. And so, of course, you can see I get a more of a drip, right? Kind of like a ganache, and we're drizzling on the cake. Love it. Yeah, so it's a little thicker. I mean, this one's a little thinner, and the top you can see was a little thicker. So depending on the heat, the top one's like probably 135. The orange was probably just over 150. Okay, so Fahrenheit. And the other way I do this is I don't really have a name for it. I think I call it my tic-tac-toe. It's not quite tic-tac-toe, but it is, it's where they put them together. I only have 2 of these, but you just, do the cute little lines. So you get like little tic-tac-toe. They're not quite tic-tac-toe, but yeah. This one's a little messier just because it's, you're trying to get it all over and, don't really want to waste the cocoa butter at all. But, I mean, it is a thing. And then the last one, I think, nope, there's one more, is my Pokeballs, which I know nobody ever gives me too much crap about being perfect on these. And my theory is if it's too perfect, who's going to want to use it, right? If it's absolutely so cute, I've seen some on Etsy, they're just absolutely fabulously, adorably perfect. Who would want to use them, right? And so me being me, I'm just like, it's freehand. If they're not going to be that perfect. Now, this is my wash, my cocoa butter wash for the tops of my bombs because, I don't put polysorbate 80 in my bath bombs. I will not touch that stuff. And so I'm not going to put a humongous amount of mica in them either, which is why they're lightly colored. But this is just the cocoa butter wash, and it is thinner, so there is a lot less baking soda in here, and I end up doing 2 coats per bath bomb, and but it's a great way I have found, to color them without making the whole bathtub totally red or red. It does leave a ring, of course, but it's a great time to scrub the tub when you're done soaking in these. And like I said, they get 2 coats. Okay? 2 coats to make them that pretty red. And there's actually not a lot of mica between the 3 bath bombs. Next is, I was going to say packaging, but nope, we're doing the My Little Pony. I decided to show you the My Little Pony ones. So same philosophy as this is not cocoa butter drizzle because they are for little kids. And I know the Pokebombs are too, but they are much bigger also. These are for, little kids. And I just don't think they need the extra cocoa butter to be slip sliding in the tub. So these are the My Little Ponies that are out for, Valentine's and Easter and whatnot. And they're just basically, it's isopropyl alcohol and a little bit of mica, just painting like normal. I do kind of try and skimp and save on my micas. If you end up with a bunch left over, like I think I do have some orange left, all you have to do, like, you don't even have to put saran wrap around it because it's isopropyl alcohol. So just leave it dry. I kid you not, just leave it dry, and then the next time you need that color, you can just add a little bit of the isopropyl alcohol to it. Or if you're using it in a soap, you would just let it evaporate, and then add your oil, or however you're doing it. I guess if you're doing melt and pour, I think you can use alcohol, so then it wouldn't matter. But so so they have the My Little Pony figurine inside. They're just adorable. They're so cute. I grew up with My Little Ponies. I actually met somebody who collects the My Little Pony stuff, and I'm not ready to get rid of mine. I have a whole collection, and I didn't do it for collecting. I did it, going to go out of town with my grandparents and conned my grandpa and grandma into a few ponies. But Santa's to blame. I think my first one I got from Santa. It was the little purple, I don't know, was it called Lilac Blossom, or was it Blossom? Just Blossom. Purple little horse. Oh, they're so cute. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just like, yeah, they're bath bombs. But you can decorate them. I know I've done a reel on this, and they're fun. They're I can be a little creative every time, and they don't have to be perfect. Because why? Because they're going into the bathtub. And a little bit on packaging. I always stand them. I showed you. I stand them on a cup, and then I just pull my bag down. The big ones, they all get shrink wrapped. There's some eco BPA free bags that I have. That's what they claim. And so they are a lot softer than a lot of the other bags I have used previously. But I just shrink wrap it. I actually seal it first, the big ones, and then shrink wrap it. Make sure the edges are all down. And then my labels are actually, they are taped over all the way around. So then I just pop them on like so. I actually changed the big ones. The little ones get shrink wrapped on the bottom also, but because of their size and the type of labels I use for those, they stay like that. They get labeled on the top. And there you have it. There's my spring line. I'm having fun decorating bath bombs. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time, and God bless.